Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to Glenda's Dragon's Den. I am Glenda Dawson of Glenda's Magical Creations and also the host and producer of Glenda's Dragon's Den. I am so grateful you are here with me today. Whether you're listening in the car, relaxing, cleaning, sitting down, whatever you're doing, I just want to welcome you into this space. Thank you for taking a pause. Taking, Thank you for being here, supporting me. If you haven't, please hit the subscribe button, the share button, and let's get this to other people who might benefit from. Lately, if you noticed, I've been doing these shows without a guest. And that is my preference. I have put all guests on hold for a little bit because I felt that many of you had not truly gotten messages across. There is a need right now to hear certain things, to welcome certain things into the world, to keep it more positive. And I decided, through the guidance of my team, my spiritual team, that it was time to do that, especially this being my birthday month, as you well know. This when we arrive at our birthday, I don't know about you, but I am very grateful. I am very hopeful. I get very reflective. Sometimes I feel, like, what next? Where do I go next? A little confused, but that is all process. It's all a process, right? We get through another year of life. We got to be grateful for that. Whether it's good, bad, or otherwise, you know what? If it's not good, there's always an opportunity. You're getting another opportunity to start fresh, to start new. That's what every single day brings us in reflection. We just say thank you, right? There's a moment in our day, especially for me, when I wake up. And even though I'm half asleep, because I'm not a morning person by any means, but I am grateful for being able to breathe again, for seeing a new day, whether there's sunlight or whether there's rain, or in some places it's cold, in some places it's snowy. Thankfully, right here in Pennsylvania, right now, it's the beginning of summer, and we're good. We're good. This is what one of the things I love about my birthday. Right before my birthday, spring is here, and you know, I I am grateful because I see the new life, a reminder of what is coming, a new day, a new year, new life. And sometimes things are not easy. Not everything is perfect in anybody's life. You may be grateful for everything, but that doesn't mean you're always going to have it easy. And it's okay. We're all still breathing, we're all still growing, we're still being guided, we're still being carried, we're still being blessed. And today I want to speak about gratitude, since we're at it, right? But not the surface kind of gratitude, not the forced kind, not the kind that tells you, oh, to just be positive when your heart is hurting, not the kind that denies the hard lessons and asks you to pretend that everything is okay. But I want to speak about real gratitude, the kind that has lived through something, the kind that has had to trust in the darkness, the kind that has had to keep going when there was no clear evidence of how things would work out or even what direction to go. You just knew you had to keep one foot in front of the other and keep going, keep going, and keep going. I want to talk about the kind. I do not know how, but I just want to talk about the kind that says, I do not know how this is going to unfold, but I am still here. I do not know and I do not have all the answers, but I'm still open. And I have walked through hard times, but I can still recognize grace. That is gratitude. That is the gratitude I want to speak about today. Today's episode, I am calling it the blessings that find us, the gratitude, the provisions, and the quiet ways Spirit shows up. Because the blessings do not, you know, blessings do find us. We just have to recognize them. Sometimes they find us through people. Sometimes they find us through timing. Sometimes they find us through a meal. And sometimes they find us through unexpected support. Sometimes they even find us through a door that just opens up in front of us and we're like, what? Or even a door that closes. Sometimes they find us through what someone prepared for a situation that didn't happen. Sometimes they find us through someone out out of the blue without any indication before. I want to support your work. There's so many ways. And that is why I want to talk about this today. Because we keep going day after day after day, and we forget, or we're so numb sometimes that we don't recognize those blessings, those moments that we need to say grace, those moments that we should be grateful, right? The miracle inside the ordinary is what I call it a lot of the times. The blessing inside the practical, or the unseen movement inside human kindness. The grace that meets us in ways we did not plan. So let's just take, before I go on, let's just take a breath so we could all be here, be present, and let the heart know that for this moment, it doesn't have to carry everything by itself. So take a nice deep breath and exhale. And as I do this, I want you to gently remind yourself to be open to recognize the blessings that are there for you. Again, to be open. And if you got to say it as an affirmation, I am open to recognizing the blessings. Say it a few times. Go ahead. There's something powerful about that statement and about birthdays. Some people love birthdays, some people struggle with them, some people celebrate loudly, like me. I love my birthday month. I don't just celebrate the day. I could have been born in any part of that month, just like any of one of us. So I celebrate the whole month in different ways. Some people feel joy, some people prefer quiet reflection, some people feel grief, some people feel pressure, some people feel all of it up all at once. And I believe that is okay. A birthday is not only about a number, not only about an age, not only about the cake, the candles, the flowers, the cards, the messages, or the celebration. Those are beautiful things. And believe me, I love them. I love it when out of the blue somebody brings something to me, like a pendant that I got for Glenda's Dragons Den, a beautiful, beautiful pendant. I want to show you guys, not pendant, yeah, a little thing here. Look at this, okay? This may be small for some people, but this is one of the biggest things that let my heart open up and gave me such joy. Because to me, it's not about the actual gift. If somebody comes to me and just writes on a piece of paper, I'm here for you, happy birthday, what I don't care what it is, gives me a thoughtful statement. All those birthday messages that I received, whether we're email or text or messages on Facebook, messages on Instagram, on TikTok, even LinkedIn. Oh my God, they made me feel so good. They're the ones, those are the things that carry me from this year to the next birthday. Though that's the energy that carries me with great intention and good wishes that carry me from here to then. Why? Because I look at it and I receive it and I accept that energy and fill my tank so I could keep going. Now, it is a moment, our birthdays, where the soul says, look at what you have walked through. Look at what you have survived. Look at what you have learned. Look at what, look at how you have changed. Because I'm not the same person I was when I was in my 20s. Actually, there's some parts of me that I wish I still had from my 20s. But I accept the aging fine like wine. No, joking around. We all have gone through things. You just show up. So look at how you showed up. Look at what arrived right on time. Look at the blessings you may not have understood till later. Birthdays can bring memories forward and they can make us think about who we used to be. Think about the ways we once hoped for things to be. But it also could help us celebrate and understand that we're still standing, we're still here. We may not be the same, that's okay. Maybe softer in some places, that's okay. Stronger in others, it's okay. Very much wiser, I hope, as you get older in ways that you never expected and more aware of what really matters. Now, after my birthday, I found myself reflecting not only on another year, but on the ways I have been blessed, the ways I have been carried, the ways that Spirit has shown up when I could not see the full road ahead. Sometimes I couldn't even see an inch ahead. And I kept feeling this message in my heart. Talk about the blessings that find us. So I am doing this because I think people need to go back to basics. It doesn't have to be your birthday to reflect. It could be any time that you're going through something, any time really. Just be grateful, right? Because sometimes we only talk about blessings after they become big. The big breakthrough, the big opportunity, the big miracle. Like, I talk about me being able to walk. All of a sudden, when I was 2, that I was told before the age of 2 that I wouldn't. You know what? Yes, that is a miracle. But the miracles can be small too. What about something like those quiet blessings? What about the blessings when a person brings food to you? Or when a client shares what they have? Or an unexpected support? We all go through those things. A scholarship that helps someone else access healing, guidance, or classes. I was blessed many times, and I'm still being blessed every single day. Except the human side sometimes forgets, and we're human, most of us anyway. We do have some humanity. In order to live right now on earth, you have to have something that's human. Even if you're a hybrid, even if you come from a different planet, even if you're a star seed, whatever, you still have to have some humanity. And because of that, we have our lows and our highs, our troubles and our celebrations. You know, They come humble. They come in a bag sometimes. Those little things, they come in a tray. They come with a message. They come through a person. We just need to learn how to honor those blessings today. Because when we honor small blessings, we become more available to larger flow of grace. That's why I want to talk about. Not because, oh, she doesn't get miracles. No, I get miracles left and right. I get miracles of grandkids, my kids, of friends that no matter how many years we don't speak to each other, give them a call, text them, and they're right there, and vice versa. I have friends that sometimes we don't even talk for a couple of years, and all we do is hit each other up. Hey, I was thinking about you, and boom, it's like time was not a problem. When we remember how we have been carried before, we are better able to face what's in front of us now because that energy of blessings carries us through it. Sometimes gratitude is not about pretending there's no hardship. Let's remember that. Sometimes gratitude is about saying, yes, there is hardship, but there's also grace. There's also blessings. Yes, there was uncertainty, but there was also provisions. Yes, there was a lot of pain, but oh my God, there was so much kindness. Yes, I had a moments where I did not even know what to do, but somehow support came through. That is sacred. That is real. And that is a kind of gratitude that becomes testimony. Not because, I'm all high and mighty, because I'm not. Dear Lord, I'm not. All of my gifts and all that I do have been given to me by grace, by divine power, so I could help humanity because it helped me when I was two, and I assigned myself up. I enlisted, as I laughingly call it, jokingly call it every once in a while. I enlisted to do greatest good, however they can use me. Now, gratitude is not denial. Let's get that clear. Gratitude is not spiritual bypassing, okay? It's not pretending that you're okay when you're not, and it's not ignoring the pain. It is not, gratitude is not saying other people have it worse, so I should not feel what I feel. No, you can feel what you feel. You could be how you are, but real gratitude has room for honesty. Real gratitude can sit beside grief, and there's absolutely no problem with that. Real gratitude can sit beside exhaustion, can sit beside uncertainty, but real gratitude can say, this was hard, and I am still thankful for the grace that met me. This hurts a bunch, like a mepper, let's face it, but I am still thankful for the person who showed up. I was scared. Hey, we're human. We're allowed to have all that stuff. We're not robots, for goodness sakes. We are human, and that's what makes us different. We have special feelings, special things that we go through. And I am still thankful for the provision that arrived. I did not know how it would work out, and I am still thankful that somehow, step by step by step, I was guided. You're guided every single day, whether you realize it or not. I am grateful that my heart does not have to ache and doesn't have to ache forever. It aches, but it doesn't have to do it forever. I'm grateful soul. I'm a grateful soul that does not have to be a soul that never questions. I'm a Gemini. I question everything. It's the way I am. I'm a grateful person that does not have to be someone who has never struggled. Anybody that's really close to me has seen me struggle, has knows it. I never, very rarely can I say, "Oh, that was easy." When it's really easy, I get scared because you know what? Sometimes things that come very easy disappear very easy. It doesn't always have to be a struggle that you have to create, but sometimes there's lessons and wisdom that you need to learn and you have to obtain. In fact, some of the deepest gratitude comes from the people who have struggled deeply because when you have known lack, provisions feel sacred. When you have known loneliness, kindness feels sacred. When you have known sickness, nourishment feels sacred. When you have known uncertainty, support feels sacred. When you have known what it feels like a deep going without knowing how the next step will appear, every moment of support becomes precious. So if you're listening today or you're watching today and you are in a difficult season, because with seasons, it's like a roller coaster. You go up and you go down, and you go up and you go down. Please do not hear this episode as pressure to deny your reality. I want you to be honest because you're allowed to be honest. You're allowed to say, "This is hard." You're allowed to say, "I am tired." You're allowed to say, "I need help." You're allowed to say, "I am grateful and I'm still waiting." Sometimes it's simple. Help me, guide me, show me, support me. Please remember, you're still human. You're still human. Now, I do want to share, since we're talking about gratitude, a experience or two that are very personal. I'm not saying when. This is so. Those are these. These are the times that they really stand out for me. Not that the other ones don't, but these are particular, and I could say it without naming names because I don't want anyone to be pointed at or anything like that. There was a time when my finances were very, very low. A few of those times, but this one in particular I'm thinking about. And I know many people understand what that feels like. It is one thing to talk about trust when everything is stable. Trust the universe, trust the divine, have faith. Oh, yeah, that's great when everything is going perfect. It's another thing to talk about trust when the numbers are just not lining up. Not lining up. When finances are low, and it is not just about money, it touches so many layers. It touches the mind, the body, the nervous system. It touches your heart. It can bring up fear. It could bring up shame. It could bring up old memories. It could bring up your survival feelings and that let that kick in. It can make you question your path. It can make you wonder if you are doing enough. It could even make you wonder if you're being supported. And sometimes it makes you feel like you're carrying everything alone. Sometimes, even doing spiritual work, you question, and question this. You show up for others. You're serving for others. You're being there for others. You're setting intentions. And you're even when you are trusting, there can still be seasons where finances feel tight. That is part of being human. Sorry, that's the part of being in the human experience. And during those times, it is very, very precious and grateful time when someone steps up, guided by their team, spiritual team, guided by something they don't even know what guided them to. During one of those times, a client brought me meat from a farm. directly from a butcher that they grow their own meats. They brought, and they said that they bought too much. That was the simple explanation. But she had bought too much and she had extra. But to me, it was not simply the extra meat. That was provision. That was grace. That was spirit showing up through a person. That was a reminder that divine can meet a need through the most practical channel, right? But sometimes we're looking for the grand miracle, and the miracle that comes as food is right there. Sometimes we're looking for a sign in the sky. The sign comes in a grocery bag. Perfect. Sometimes we're looking for a huge breakthrough, and Spirit says, let me help you with today. Let me nourish you today. Let me remind you that you are seeing today. That farm meat was not just food, it was a message. Because when we lack or we're going through problems, blockages, or whatever, we spiritually start to lose faith, start to lose, am I really being taken care of? What am I doing all this work for? Why am I on my path to suffer and suffer and suffer? No, no, and that's not true. That food or that meat was a message to me, just saying, you're not forgotten. Your needs do matter, and help can come through unexpected doors. Wow. Someone had extra, and now you have provisions. Someone, sometimes one person's extra becomes another person's sacred. One person buys too much, another person has a need. One person feels prompted to share, another person receives nourishment. That is sacred circulation. That is abundance in motion. That is just not just charity. That is the flow of blessing. Someone I know had a child or has a child, and they're going through difficulty, financially difficult moment or season that we're going through it. And their eldest child graduated high school, and somehow she found a way to buy the stuff for the celebration, not knowing where things come, not knowing where every penny, because they were in the negative more than they were in the positive, and yet things occur. And that, we live with open hands and open hearts. What is too much in one place can be enough in another. Just remember that. When we live with open hands and open hearts, what is too much in one place, it became or becomes enough in another. That is one of the mysteries of divine provision. When people talk abundance, it isn't abundance only about money. Abundance could come in different ways. At that moment, I needed meat. It's a long time ago. I needed provisions, and it was supplied to me. It does not always arrive through the channels that we expect. Doesn't always come with a big announcement. Hey, you won the lottery. Blah, blah, blah. No, it does not always look like what we ask for. I asked for money to buy groceries, and the groceries arrived. That's all I care. The end result was the groceries arrived. But sometimes it meets the deeper need. It means food, comfort, support, a reminder, a breath, a reason to keep trusting. And when you have been in a low place, those practical blessings feel sacred. A meal is just not a meal. Groceries are not just groceries. And sometimes someone thinking of you is not just someone thinking of you. Spirit knows where I am, Spirit knows what I need, and Spirit can move through people. And a beloved soul, if you are in a season where finances feel low, I want to speak to you gently to your heart. You're not less spiritual because you have financial stress. You're not less worthy because you have a need. You're not failing because you're waiting for provision. You're human. And there's no shame in needing support. And I wish support finds you. I wish provisions find you. And I wish the right person be moved at the right time for you. May what is extra somewhere else become exactly what you need and find its way to you. There's always seasons, there's always blessings, no matter how tight things get. Now, another time for me, way back when I first got diagnosed with fibro, lupus, and ankylosis, and yada, yada, yada. I have a slew of things that I've been diagnosed with, including having cancer a few times. I was sick in bed. And anyone who has been sick knows how vulnerable that can feel. At that time, I didn't have anybody. Um, at that time was right after his surgery. And then, of course, after surgery comes all the illnesses and all the diseases. They come knocking at your door because, they can. And because you're not able to continue and say, I'm fighting you off, you stay quiet. I don't need you right now. I don't need you, period. But it's like when you're down, life kicks you even more. And we all been there. Your energy is low, your mind may feel foggy, your emotions are very tender, your body is asking for rest, and sometimes even the simplest things feel like too much. Getting up feels like too much, preparing food feels like too much, and taking care of yourself can feel like climbing a mountain. And during that time, a neighbor brought me a tray of food. They were expecting company for this big barbecue, and they knew I had had surgery, and the company had an emergency and didn't arrive. So they did not want the food to go to waste, and so they brought it to me. Now, this could be the excuse that she used. You know what? At that moment, I didn't care. I want you to really sit through that moment. They prepared food for a company, and the company did not come. The food could not have been wasted, but instead, the food could have been wasted. She could have even froze it and used it for another time. Put it in the freezer, put it away, use it, whatever. But instead, it became nourishment for somebody who is sick in bed. It's divine redirection. That is grace moving through change plans. That is provisions hidden inside what looked like an inconvenience. Someone else's canceled company became my blessing. Someone else's extra food became my nourishment. What could have been wasted became sacred care. That is why I say nothing is wasted in the hands of spirit. Nothing. The timing, the preparation, the cancellation, the decision not to waste or even to freeze it, and the thought it to bring it to me. Wow. All those pieces came together and to someone else, maybe it looked simple, maybe it looked practical, maybe it looked like, well, we had extra food. But to me, lying sick in bed, it was love. It was comfort. It was divine saying to me, you're cared for, you are being nourished, you do not have to do everything for yourself. Help can find help can find you even when you cannot go looking for it. And I'm a Gemini. I hate asking for help because that little independent girl, yes, I know I'm small, but even that smaller independent girl hates it. And believe me, most of the people that know me hate that about me because they're looking to help me. And very hard, very hard, very hard for me to ask for help. And I believe that someone listening today needs to hear help can find you even when you cannot go looking for it. When you are tired, when you are sick, when you are overwhelmed, when you are low, when you do not have the energy to even explain, grace can still find you. A blessing can still knock at your door. A person can still be moved. A tray of food can still arrive. And I am nothing special. I'm just like you. I just had an ounce of faith that somehow things will work out. And maybe it will come through someone who says, I had extra, or maybe it will come through someone who says, I was thinking of you. Or even maybe it will come through someone who says, I do not know why, but I felt like reaching out. But your soul will know. Your soul will feel it. Your soul will recognize the sacredness inside the ordinary. And I want to say this too. Sometimes when we are sick, we can feel like a burden. I know it. Talking about a personality here. Sometimes when we need help, we feel guilty. Sometimes when we, and sometimes when someone brings something, we rush to say, oh, you didn't have to. I am sorry. I feel bad. I do not want to trouble you. But what if part of the healing is learning to receive? What if part of the blessing is not only the food, but also the act of allowing yourself to be cared for? Hmm. That was a big one and a very hard one for me to learn. And I'm still working through that one. Not because anything, because those people that are willing to help me are there to truly help me, not to throw it in my face later, not to say, oh, I spent so much money, or I paid so much for this, or I bought you this, or I cooked. Or, no, they're just doing it. And what if receiving is part of restoring the heart? We all know how to give. We all know how to serve. We all know how to hold space. We all know how to show up. Well, most of us do anyway. Shouldn't say all. But when it is our turn to receive, we feel very uncomfortable. And yet, receiving is sacred too. When that tray of food came, I had to receive it. I had to let the blessing land. I had to allow the nourishment to come. And sometimes that is the lesson. Not just will support come, will support come, but will I allow myself to receive the support when it arrives? Wow. Now another experience of mine. This one happened more recently. It's a blessing that came completely out of the blue. Um, so grateful. It almost made me cry. Well, it did. I did shed a tear too. I have joy out of Wow, this is amazing. Um, it moved me very deeply. This was not only a personal blessing, this was a blessing connected to my work, to my mission, to the people who I may need support. There's a man who reached out completely out of the blue. I mean, we're friends. I shouldn't say out of the blue like that. We're friends. And he messaged me. He said he wanted to support my work and for me to send them my information. And then he sent me money towards scholarship funds so that those who may need healing sessions, guidance, or classes may not have the full financial and that do not have the full financial means could receive support. That really touched me deeply because that was more than a donation. That was spirit moving through generosity. That was someone recognizing my work and saying, I want to help this continue. I want to help someone else receive. I want to support the mission. And I want to talk about this because it carries many layers. It blessed me, yes, of course, because it reminded me that the work matters. It reminded me that the mission is seen. It reminded me that sometimes, even when we are just doing our best and continuing to show up, Spirit sends someone to say, keep going. This work is needed. Let me help carry part of it. But it also blessed people he may never meet. That is the part that moves my heart. Because when someone gives towards the scholarship fund or anything like that, they're not only helping the center, they're creating access. They're helping someone who is struggling, who and they're not asking for recognition. But I felt even anonymously, I needed them to hear this. Someone who may need the healing, the guidance, the class. Someone who may be saying quietly within to themselves, I need support, but I do not know if I can afford it. That kind of gift becomes a bridge between the need and the support, a bridge between the intention and the provision, between someone's generosity and someone else's healing. And the beautiful thing is the giver may never know all the ripples. He may never know whose session was made possible. He may never know whose heart was comforted, but that blessing will continue going on and on and on. He may never know which person felt less alone because support was available. But Spirit knows, and Spirit knows every ripple. Spirit knows every heart touched by this. Sometimes we bless people we never meet, and that is a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. You know, this can be an opportunity for someone, a doorway for someone. The energy that it carries is more than what this person could ever imagine. This support means guidance, this support means healing for others. It's beautiful. Now, every single day, divine is present in the kitchen, in the grocery bag, in the text message, in the tray of food, in the person that says, I bought too much, in the person that wants to support my work or your work, in the person that says, I thought of you, in the simple, practical human moments. The person that just says, I love you, I was thinking of you, and not in a icky, sticky way. Could be male to female, it could be female to female, it could be female to male, whatever it is. I love you unconditionally as a human being. Sometimes we need to really bring that in. Timing, divine knows timing. You know, some people don't realize what those actions bring, because it isn't just for the person you're helping, but also the ripples and the effects going down and down and down. So when you say that you are grateful, that you are thankful for the blessings that divine timing has brought to you, that means that you are creating and accepting that ripple of blessings. You're creating blessings because of the energy, and you're accepting the blessings because of what comes to you. And sometimes, it feels like the blessing is coming way, the wait is way too long. You know what? Why did you have to wait? Well, sometimes because it is not up to your timing. The food was prepared for the company, had to exist before the company canceled, right? The the person going to the farm and getting extra meat, they had to do that. They didn't know how much meat they were getting. Well, they did, but they didn't understand the amount it was, and they passed it on. Every single thing is a blessing in divine timing, divine divine blessings that are weaved into our existence. Every single time that you ask, every single time you have a need, Spirit is already working and weaving through everything so that it arrives to you in the form that you need it, not in the form that you're expecting, not in $10,000, $12,000, $15,000 in your bank account. Although that would be nice. Yes, of course. Everybody should receive some of that. But that plate of food, that tray of food, and other blessings that have arrived, those are just as worthy, if not more, because those came from the heart. Those came with love. Those came with grace. We do not know always the need to We don't even need to know always how it's going to happen. Just let it occur. We don't, you know, being human, we want details. We want a map. We want a timeline. We want reassurance. It's going to happen. We want to know that the door will open and when it will open. No, this is time to trust, to trust, to trust. Spiritual trust says keep going, keep listening, keep your heart open. Keep doing what is yours to do. Do not close your spirit just because you cannot yet see the answer. I want to speak to someone who may be waiting right now. You may be waiting for the provision. You may be waiting for clarity. You may be waiting for healing. You may be waiting for support. I cannot promise how or when your answer will arrive. But this I can say, do not assume nothing is happening just because you cannot see it yet. Blessings often begin moving before they even become visible. And the answer may be forming in a conversation you are not even part of. The provisions may be sitting in someone else's extra. The opportunity may be forming through the delay. And the support may be coming through someone you did not expect. Just align yourself with the gratefulness, being grateful, the blessings, being grateful each and every day that you're here, being grateful in each and every day that you're breathing, being grateful each and every day is not about guilt, obligation, or pressure. It is to just participate in the flow of sacred abundance by creating a moment and the energy of gratefulness, of blessings. That's all. You create that every single day, that energy will continue. When we have resources, we can ask, how can this serve? When we receive support, we can ask, how can I honor this blessing? Abundance is not about by having a lot of stuff, accumulation. No, it's about circulation. A river does not move, become stagnant. A blessing that never flows can become trapped. But a blessings that circulate, life is nourished. One person receives, one person gives, one person is supported, another person is encouraged, and another person is reminded that they're not alone. And then that person, when they're able to, becomes a blessing for someone else. This is not always financial, sometimes just the overflow. It is about wisdom. It's about food. It's about encouragement. It's about being there for someone. It's about listening, about holding space, about just sharing. It's about just saying, I see you, you matter. That's all. I see you, you matter. The question is not always, do I have a lot? The question is, what do I have that can bless someone else without harming me? Doesn't mean get rid of everything that's yours. But if you have 3 blenders, someone with a brand new baby may need a blender. Doesn't hurt to ask. Hey, I have an extra one. Do you need one? Hey, I have an extra towel, whatever. It's not about getting rid of all yours and your necessity. It's about being healthy in the way you give and in the way you receive. We do not give from an empty vessel. We do not abandon ourselves to help others. We also do not give and become resentful. That doesn't align. We give from alignment. We give for overflow. We give from sacred prompting. We give from boundaries. And we give with love, with true love. There's no shame in receiving. There's no shame in giving. Don't panic. There's no over. Don't go around repaying either. Oh, because she gave me a gift for my birthday, I got to give her a gift. No, they're not expecting it. I'm not expecting it. I give because I give, and I never expect received a gift, whether it's Christmas or birthday or just because. And we have to remember to raise our energy in gratitude during any uncertainty, whether it's financial, health, spiritual, physical, whatever. Sometimes we feel alone. Sometimes, we compare each other to others, which we really don't need to. Sometimes we feel embarrassed to ask. You know, we're all going through it one way or another. There's different seasons for everything. And I want to make sure you understand there's nothing wrong with giving or receiving, with love and boundaries. And reflect, reflect everything that you have around you. Provide a energy of thankfulness and gratefulness for the unexpected blessings or even the food that you have in front of you, what you have. Your needs are met. Be blessed. Remember when you receive a call from someone. Remember when someone gives you a ride. Remember when someone helps you move. Remember when someone is holding you in loving intention. Remember a teacher, a mentor, a friend, a client, a neighbor, even a family member. Sometimes those are the moments that take us from here to there. Now, I want you to just close your eyes if it's safe for you, if you're not driving or working with machinery or anything. But if you're safe, close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth and see what a blessing that is. Just that in itself. Be present. Now, I do have to go. I want to say thank you to everyone. Please remember to be blessed, to be grateful. Hit that share button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. And if you have any questions or want to contact me, or even if this moved you in any way, please email me. Tell me all about it. You could hit the contact button at glendasmagicalcreations.com and see what other stuff I offered. Not all of that's not everything there, but a little bit. And please, I am grateful for your support. I'm grateful for you being here, whether you see this live or later on. And as always, have a great week. I love you. Bye.